Meme review.
We're not doing that.
God damn it.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's your name?
I'm Charlie.
No, be for real. Be honest with yourself. What is actually your name?
My name is Edgar.
And my name is... Say my name.
Your name is Ricardo.
There you go. Oh, you're such a dirty girl. Hi, my name is Ricky. This is my co-host, Edgar. Say hi, Edgar.
Konnichiwa.
I don't think we needed 2 intros. But welcome to the first episode of the Coffee Spill Podcast, where we'll talk about anything and everything.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Being the first episode, I guess we're going to just talk about ourselves for a little bit. What do you do?
I love to cook.
That's good.
I love to draw.
Nice.
I'm also interested in cars. Now, I'm not...
Like-
Don't consider me as an engineer. I do what I can with fixing my own car. But if you ever tell me to resto-mod your car, you're looking at the wrong guy.
To what?
Resto-mod.
Resto-mod.
It's a term that... It's a term in
What does
the
it
world.
mean?
Resto-mod basically means that you fix your car at its quality, at its classic state, but with the modern quality parts.
Who told you to look up words?
Engineers, car engineers, basically.
Fucking nerd. Anyway, I'm not interested in cars. I'm interested in Miatas. Is that a car? Does that count as a car?
It's got 4 wheels
All right.
and an engine.
Close enough.
You can get it insured, and it's street legal.
Yeah, close enough. I'm a film student. That means anything to anybody. and we're trying out this podcast thing to see how it goes. Hopefully, we'll make a second episode after this.
Yeah. I also like to mention that I'm a culinary student myself.
I thought you did say that. Oh, you said you like to cook.
Yeah.
Do you like to cook?
Yeah. I also like baking, and I mean breads and cakes.
What? What is the other?
Does nobody get this joke?
What's the joke?
I just said I like baking, but I mean breads and cake.
Oh, you mean weed?
No, I don't do that.
What does the other baking mean?
Cakes and bread.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Okay.
We were playing Spider-Man today.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
Best Spider-Man game since 04, actually.
What do you think about the DLC? We were playing the heist.
Well, considering that we were recording it, it felt really rushed.
Did it?
It felt rushed because we were immediately jumping from one thing to another, and I wasn't like absorbing the moments on the side missions.
It felt slow to me.
I mean, yeah, it had its moments, and it's very, very interesting already. Like in an instant, as soon as the first DLC was introduced, it was like, wow. You know what I mean?
No. I didn't like the DLC that we were... Okay. I like the story so far. I burped a little bit. I like the story a little bit so far. But... Oh, these are spoilers, by the way. If you haven't played the DLC. How long's the game been out already?
It's been out since...
It's been a while.
Around fall, I believe.
It's been a few months. And the DLC's been out for a while. So if you haven't played the DLC... Okay, what are you doing with your life? Is it free?
It's free... They were free if you bought if you pre-ordered it, and you pretty much paid like an extra $30, I believe.
Anyway, we're gonna spoil a little bit of the heist. We haven't finished it, so we can't spoil the whole thing, but we'll talk about it for a little bit. But you know, I like playing and seeing Felicia's story and like kind of like getting introduced to her. But we played for about an hour and a half, and we only got about, not including like chasing her through the city, we only got about like not even 5 minutes, or maybe at least 5 minutes of screen time with her. That's maximum. Like, we haven't really gotten to know her, and it feels very slow.
Do you know anything about Black Cat, about Felicia?
Outside of the game?
Yeah, in general, as for the character in general of the universe.
I know a little bit about the whole Black Cat thing. Like, the whole Black Cat family thing. She's
kind of a sad character.
Oh yeah, I know. Like she's fucked up. Yeah,
like she's almost like a tragic version of Catwoman from the DC universe.
I'll be honest, I don't know much about Catwoman.
Well, Catwoman, yeah, not much about her either. But Catwoman and Black Cat, you can immediately see them like they could perfectly work together because one, they both have the names of that involve of a feline
And kiss.
and they're cat burglars.
Kiss.
Shut the fuck up.
Cat burglars. But anyway, I like if I had to compare the two, I do like Black Cat more. I don't know why. Like I like her as a character more. Probably because I know her more. And I did play like the Batman series or for Telltale, and Catwoman is in it. And I know Catwoman is pretty prevalent in the animated series for Batman. But other than that, I don't really know much about her.
Yeah, they kind of like simplified her a bit more and were able to finally get a complete idea of kind of basically complete Catwoman as a character, basically, if you get what I'm saying. Like they finally concluded concluded a direction for her, where instead it's like, oh, she's in for the thrill, she's teasing Batman, she's there for a moment, and then she leaves. And that's the thing that it's fun for a while and exciting when you have a cat burglar that's seductive and sexy towards the hero, but at some point it gets old and it's like, okay, well, where are you going with this character?
It's like it's a phase.
Yeah, at some point it's like, okay, we get it. You know, you're that kind of character.
Yeah, I've been through a phase like that. Like I was in Black Cat's position.
How?
I was seductive. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, but yeah, so back to the story, back to the game. I don't know, it just felt kind of slow and like they're really dragging it on. But
which one are you talking about? The Spider-Man or the DLCs?
The DLC.
Oh,
the heist. But we only played like an hour and a half, so maybe it'll pick up. The thing that pissed me off most though was we have to do another Mary Jane mission. It's like,
what's wrong with Mary Jane?
It's a Spider-Man game. Why am I playing Mary Jane? We didn't play any other characters in Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. Why are we forced to play a regular human?
Well, because in the game it's established that you and MJ are working together.
Nah, they're gonna break up anyway.
How do you know that?
Because Black Cat's in and she is fine.
Yeah, but Spidey is really oblivious. Like I like don't get me wrong, I love Spider-Man. He's like my number one hero since I was 5 years old.
Nerd.
But he is such an oblivious character sometimes that it's like even he doesn't know what he wants from time to time. But the thing that I do appreciate that it's MJ and Peter, kind of like
it's like
Spider-Man. Like it's
like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, or Lois Lane and Superman.
Hey, you know what the thing is though? I don't like jelly. Anyway, I think Peter's too good for Mary Jane, and
I don't know. This MJ isn't as shallow that I noticed.
I did notice that she's a bit stricter, but she's not as like, come here, tiger.
She has that. Well, yeah, she has that attitude that everybody knows and everybody loves about MJ.
She's definitely more mature.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that from a sense that, okay, well, she's in college, she's a journalist, she's out of high school, so that kind of attitude is no longer there.
I like how this became a Spider-Man review for the game.
Well, it's not just the game at all. It's like not just the game. It's like I'm describing the characters overall.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate, like, I love MJ, how she's a party girl and she likes to have fun and have a good time. But then I feel like she was like that in high school, but now she's no longer like that. Like, she realized, okay, now I need to do something for my life.
How old are they supposed to be in the game?
This took place 8 years after Spider-Man got his powers. And he got his around when he was 15. So he's like around 24, 23 years old.
Hold on, we could do math. 15. Wait, how old is he? 15?
He was 15 when he got his
15,
powers.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. He's 23.
23 years old.
No, I didn't do math on my hands.
And so yeah, like considering that they're 23, this is like they're already like what, 3 years out of high school?
Yeah. Wait. So, no. What? 19. I was
5 years out of high school. Okay.
I was 19 when I was out of high school.
Well, for them, because we weren't very good.
Wait, was I 19 or was I 18? I forgot. Anyway,
Point is,
that's a little too much information.
Point is, they're out of high school and they realize that they should actually start considering
Getting their shit together.
Yeah, getting their shit together, and it looks like Peter. This is the thing that I also love about the game. For those who don't know, in case you haven't played, there's a cool thing in the game where you can actually go through Manhattan and you find these backpacks and they're scattered all over the city. And one thing that I found in the game is an ID badge for a university that he went in New York, and that gave it some character for the character himself, that he wanted to go to college and study and major in science and biology and stuff like that. And to me, that's like a mixed feeling for me, where he has a responsibility to the city, but at the same time he also has dreams and desires to go to school and pursue what he wants to do since he was a kid, before the weight of the city was on his shoulders.
That's why I like. Remember when we read the Amazing Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse series, that arc.
The introduced it was the Parker Luck.
Yeah, we read that, and I really liked exploring, even if it's just like, because we read the main series, we didn't read the side stories.
That's what I'm disappointed at. Like I didn't get those comics.
But we stayed on the main storyline, following the actual Peter Parker, and I liked seeing some universes where there was one universe where Ben Parker gets the powers.
Yeah.
And Peter basically stays. I think, does he die? He dies, doesn't he?
I don't remember, honestly.
There was one year. I think there was one universe where he doesn't die.
Yeah.
And he does end up going to college and university, and he becomes this super important science figure.
I remember now.
What happens? Does he die or not?
I don't know. I don't think he dies.
I want to read them again.
That's one universe, and then there's another one where he actually, I can't remember. I know that the Parker Luck, which is basically the original Spider-Man since the 60s. That's the Spider-Man that.
That's the one that we read, right?
Yeah, the Parker Luck.
Yeah.
I know that one's rich because, for those who don't know, he switched bodies with Doc Ock, and
hey, spoilers.
Huh?
Spoilers.
This has been out for a long time.
It has been.
And Doc Ock is now in Peter Parker's young body, and I saw the picture too. I saw the image of how Doc Ock looks when he's dying, and it's so sad. And I even felt so sorry for Peter, because I even saw tears coming down on Peter's face when he's in Doc Ock's body, like he was like, holy shit, like I'm dying. You did this to me.
Yeah.
And he got away with it.
I'm wondering if they'll go into that direction for the next Spider-Man game, because in the game, again, spoilers, Doc Ock's body is failing also. Like, he has this disease, and I'm not actually sure if it was a real disease or not.
It was more of a neurological disease.
Yeah, and his body's basically breaking down. That's why he was trying to create the tentacles to help him move around. Which,
again, this Doc Ock, I have not appreciated or enjoyed Dr. Octavius since Spider-Man 2 in 2004.
Yeah, usually when I see Doc Ock, like, okay, because I've seen Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah,
we've seen the show from the 90s, like that Russian show, right? It's Russian, right?
I thought it was Russian.
Oh, what is it?
I think it's American, but
is
it's animated very awkwardly.
It's very weird.
It's cut down very awkwardly.
Yeah, but that one with the intro that goes Spider-Man. That one.
Interesting fact. The theme was actually played the solo, and that sound effect where he says Spider-Man in a robotic tone. That's actually Joe Perry.
Really?
From Aerosmith.
What the fuck?
That's an interesting fact. I didn't know that.
Anyway, so we've seen that. We've seen those two shows. What else have we seen? I've seen Doc Ock in Ultimate Spider-Man.
I did not enjoy that Doc Ock.
I didn't. And like usually when Doc Ock appears, I'm like, oh, here we go again, Doc Ock. But Spider-Man 2 had a good one with Alfred Molina, and I really enjoyed this iteration of Dr. Octavius.
Yeah, like at first I was worried because I watched Spider-Man 2 um not too long ago, like pretty recently actually, like a month ago.
We watched it together.
Oh yeah. I forgot you were there.
I was there, asshole.
Yeah. And when I watched him I was like, okay, you can see that there's already an attachment because here you have a very famous scientist that is working under that actually has a duty for Oscorp. Excuse me, I belched. Sorry. And here you have Peter who idolizes that scientist who is Dr. Octavius, and you see that implemented into the game. And the thing that they did is that they changed it up even more, where it's not only Peter just wanting a simple interview and watch a demonstration, he's actually working with him and and they both share the same vision, which makes their relationship even stronger as friends, even to a point where it's like a father-son relationship.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. It's like a father-son relationship.
And I was worried because I was like, I thought to myself that we already saw this, but then it stepped that up a little bit more, and I was like, okay, this is not a bad idea.
I legitimately cried.
Dude, again, this is like I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep comparing Spider-Man 2 a lot in this podcast. I apologize.
It's a fucking good movie. Don't apologize to them.
But yeah, I mean, it's true because I mean the emotional aspects, there are a lot of elements in the film that touch the human spirit in a certain way that's why it's so relatable.
Spider-Man 2, the movie, like from Sam Raimi, it's a very interesting feeling to watch that movie. Because as a kid, we saw it as a kid. We saw it when it premiered. And
God, that's a good day.
And watching it as a kid, it's interesting to see it because it's like, it's one of the coolest Spider-Man movies I've seen. And like, yes, I'm even including Amazing Spider-Man and Homecoming in that. It's one of the coolest Spider-Man. It's cheesy as fuck because it's early 2000s, but there's a charm to it. And it's really, it kind of holds up, kind of doesn't. Some of the effects don't hold up. But there's a very nostalgic feeling to it that I really like.
This is why I personally enjoy the Raimi films, including the third film.
Fuck you.
I mean,
are you serious?
Okay, granted, and hear me out. It wasn't Sam Raimi's fault.
True.
For Spider-Man 3's fault.
True.
For Spider-Man 3's flaw.
Yeah.
The thing that I really love about the trilogy with Tobey Maguire is one, and I hate to use this card, the nostalgia card, but it's the film that introduced me to the character. I was aware of him, but as soon as, and I remember that day, my cousin, who is in Texas right now, he brought it as a VHS.
Spider-Man 3?
Spider-Man 2. I mean, the first movie.
Oh.
Spider-Man 2, 2002.
I was going to say, like, did Spider-Man 3 make it to VHS?
No.
I was like, what the fuck?
No, at that time, the Blu-ray already came out.
Should we make that old man joke about what a VHS is? Just skip it? We'll just skip it. Fuck it. People know what VHSs are.
Well, this is back in 2002.
Yeah.
And my cousin, one of my cousins brought a VHS copy of Spider-Man 2, of the first Spider-Man movie. I keep saying Spider-Man 2, I'm sorry. And he put it in, and we started watching it, and I was so amazed that I begged and begged and begged nonstop at my mom to get me a copy.
It's funny because I remember when Spider-Man was still in theaters, the first Spider-Man, we saw the trailers for it.
You guys went to go see it. I didn't.
Yeah,
I was actually scared.
Yeah, you were fucking frightened because your argument was because spiders.
No. This is the reason why. And keep in mind, our mother is arachnophobic.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that made it funnier.
Yeah.
Because I went to go see it with her. She sat next to me, and I remember we sat at the very front.
Yeah,
at the very front. So me being a kid, when did that movie come out?
This was like, I looked it up. It came out it premiered on May 4th, 2002.
2002. So I was, wait, really? Spider-Man 1?
The first movie, yeah.
Okay, so I was I was like 11.
I was 5 years old, almost 6.
No, if I was 11, you must have been 9. Because that's how math works.
2002. Wait,
We're actually doing math for this shit.
I was 6. I was around 5 or 6 years old.
Okay, so I was 8 then. Wait, really? I was 8? God. Okay, anyway. So, in my mind, because it was rated PG-13, and, you know, you had to take your parents had to take you.
Yeah.
So, our parents, our mom and our dad, took me and our cousin to go watch it. And I felt like such an adult because I got to see this PG-13 movie. And I thought, oh, I'm so brave for watching this. And when we sat down to watch it, I was expecting it to be a horror film for some reason. I don't know why. But I really liked it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought because, and this is where I thought it was a horror film, because one, I'm not gonna lie, the design of the suit, the way how angry the suit looks, and the way how Green Goblin looked, I was like, this is a scary film. And then they were also showing a lot of night shots of the trailer, back and forth.
Oh yeah,
where
they did use a lot of night shots.
Yeah, and like to the point where like even the rain scene where Peter kisses Mary Jane in the rain. That to me was like, this looks horrifying.
Yeah, especially because he was kissing a woman. Like we were.
Yeah, it's an adult moment. That's like, this is.
No, wait, no, I was trying to make a joke. It's because as a kid, it's like, ew, girls. I was trying to make that joke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like, ew, cooties.
Yeah, and so I was watching it and I was like, yeah, I don't want to see this until my cousin came over and he showed it to me.
I'm amazed at how fucking into Spider-Man you were as a kid.
Oh my god,
you were fucking into that shit. Like you were. Like, I got into it for a while. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, Spider-Man. But you fucking dove head first.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes. I remember when I first saw the movie. And really?
What? Just keep talking. It's
Sorry.
fine.
And so when I first saw the movie, I was like, this movie's freaking awesome. And I remember I started buying toys. I wanted to dress up for him as Spider-Man I wanted to dress up as Spider-Man for Halloween. And then I lost my mind the day that we went to go see a stupid movie, a really really dumb movie. I mean,
Which movie?
It was that one movie with that little white robot.
White robot. Oh, Hitchhiker's Guide to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe or the God?
That movie was boring as hell. I fell asleep. I didn't like it.
I loved it.
You may have.
I don't remember it.
That day we were either gonna watch Star Wars the episode 3 or that movie, and you chose that piece of shit.
But was episode 3 already out?
Star Wars 3? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What the?
I wanted to see General Grievous fuck Obi-Wan Kenobi up. I wanted to see that shit. And so I seriously remember we went in and our correction, actually. This happened in 2005, actually. Spider-Man 2 came out in 2004.
You're a dumbass.
No, let me retrace back, actually. We went to go see a different movie.
Yeah.
And I was surprised how very, very outdated the theater were in terms of putting posters. Because we were going to see a different film, and already there was a poster of Treasure Planet. And I was like, oh, that's a cool movie. But the movie was already out, like, had already been in theaters because it came out in 2003. And when we went
wait, so there was a poster for Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
But the movie was already, like, on home video.
Yeah, like around that time it was going to come out.
This was in Edwards, wasn't it?
I think it was.
That theater it's been doing a lot better.
Oh, yeah. It looks great. And so anyway, we got inside, and I remember, like, we were...
You sound really sarcastic right now.
Oh, yeah.
It looks great.
No. I really do mean it. It looks actually great, because I do remember going back inside. It looks really nice. And so... I'm really trying my best not to sound sarcastic. Okay. So we went in, and I remember it was around the corner, that poster. Because as you turn around the corner, you go down the hall, and it's more theaters down that hallway. And we went into a theater that was right in front of the entrance. We went into a theater that was right in front of that poster. The entrance was right in front of that poster. We got in there, and we saw whatever movie was playing. And as we left, when the movie was over, they changed the poster, and it was the famous shot of Spider-Man. Like it was that famous shot of Spider-Man like swinging through the city, but yeah, like you can barely see. It has that orange golden hour shot.
Yeah.
And in his eye, you see Doc Ock's eye, and I lost my shit for that. I was like telling my mom, we have got to go see this, Mom. And my mom told me, and she promised me, and I love my mom for this to this very day because of that. I mean, I love my mom always. Don't worry. She bought the tickets ahead of time, literally a month ahead of time.
Really?
For the premiere.
Huh.
She bought them.
Wait, we saw a premiere?
We went the day the movie was going to come out.
Was that the premiere?
It was.
I just thought we were going to go see a movie.
It wasn't at the premiere. Let me correct that.
Well, I know. It was the day of the release
and
for the movie.
It was on a Wednesday, June 30th, 2004.
What a weird day to release a film.
Well, it was on June. It was during summer vacation.
It's Wednesday though. Who releases a film on Wednesday? Anyway, yeah, I probably freaked out the same way you did about Spider-Man for all the Harry Potter films. That was my geek out moments.
Those films I didn't want to see because those were definitely scary for me.
Really?
Because again, you were into some horror, not like extreme horror, but you had a curiosity for some of that witchcraft
people keep
genre.
People keep thinking that I'm into horror films and horror genre. I'm not that into it. Like
you have a taste for it. Like you can actually. I noticed that you always have appreciation, at least an appreciation for it.
Bro, I was laughing my ass off for the last Halloween movie. That shit was hilarious. I saw it with a friend, and we went to go see it. And I was barely getting to know this friend, and we really bonded over this film because we were both laughing our asses off. There's a scene that I remember from Halloween where I don't even know who the freaking killer is. It's Michael Myers, right?
Michael Myers.
Yeah, Michael Myers. There's this funny shot, and I was laughing my ass off because it's Halloween night. It's a street, and the street's full of children doing their trick or treating thing. And Michael, he walks behind this house, and it's this lady. She's on the phone or whatever. Michael, he kills her or whatever. She's dead.
Yeah.
And then he walks to the house, and as he's walking, there's this crib. And you hear some baby noises, and you're like, oh, he's going to kill this kid. But then you're thinking, no, wait, he only kills women. They established early on, what? What?
I don't know why that's funny. He only kills women.
They established early on in the movie
right
that he only ever killed women and maybe a couple of men, but to defend himself. And so as he's approaching the baby, I'm like, he's not going to do it. And he gets near the baby, and he looks at the baby, and then he walks away. And for some reason, my friend and I, we lost it. We were just laughing. And then
it was a boy,
I think maybe. and so whenever from that moment on, whenever he killed anybody, my friend and I would be like, "Oh, that's a shame. Oh, that's a tragedy." We were just laughing.
That's what I noticed. Some people who watch cheesy horror. And by the way, you never saw the original Halloween?
Halloween?
The original Halloween? 1979, I believe.
No, I've never seen it.
That one is freaking funny. But at the same time,
is it the type of film where if you saw it at the time, it would hold up, but now it's just a fun movie to watch?
To this very day, well, first of all, it's that film that started the slasher horror cliche stuff.
Yeah.
Horny teenagers running always wanting to
wait, say that word again.
Horny teenagers.
I like how you said it the first time.
Horny teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're getting into trouble, sneaking out at night, and there's always that one pretty boy always talking to the sluttiest girl there, and they actually get together, and then everybody else dies. It's that cliched stuff.
Yeah.
That Halloween apparently is the one that started it all, and it stands out because it's famous for that. But at the same time, it is pretty good because there are elements that even if you were actually going to make a horror film, you can actually learn a few things out of it. Where, For example, and this is like my take on horror. And keep in mind, I don't watch a lot of horror. The thing that really pisses me off about horror is that they always think that loud is scary.
Yeah, it's not.
It just pisses you off.
It startles you for a second.
Yeah, but at the same, but yeah, like, what I hate is that it gets you. It basically scares you and gets your adrenaline going, and you shit your pants momentarily. But then
I hate the formula where
that tension is gone when the real shit happens.
I hate the formula where the film slows everything down, it makes everything really quiet, and then they get you with a jump scare, which it does work. It will make you jump out of your seat, and it does give a moment of suspension or suspense, but it's not scary. It's just suspenseful.
Exactly, and so this is where here's a spoiler. Did you care about it?
For which movie?
For the 70s version of Halloween.
Oh, it came out in the 70s. I don't give a shit.
Okay. I just want to let you know. I just wanted to ask you.
I mean, I'll watch it probably just for, like, to learn from it.
Okay, so there's a scene in the film, and this is where I think it's a really good example for a jump scare, because it's not scary. I mean, it is. I mean, it startles you, but it doesn't involve high-pitched, loud banging or screeching noises and anything like that, or some horrifying sound design. It's literally this guy who's kind of dressed in a trench coat, and I keep forgetting if he was like a principal or something, trying to like find these teenagers who are trying to get into trouble. He's trying to get them in trouble or something. I can't remember, but he's like looking behind a shrub, behind a hedge, on the front lawn of a house. And as he's looking, and this is like around when, Michael Myers has been already terrorizing the neighborhood, and it's quiet. It's kind of peaceful, actually, if you think about it, the way how everything looks. It's a peaceful neighborhood. It's really quiet. You hear nothing but crickets. And the guy is looking behind the hedge, and just before you think coast is clear and all that, you see a hand, and it coming towards him, about to touch his shoulder, and immediately cuts to kind of like a diagonal undershot behind the guy. And it's actually a police officer.
I'm trying to picture what that looked like.
Yeah, and he gets touched. Like, the guy is grabbed by the shoulder by that police officer, and the guy immediately turns around and he's like, "Oh Jesus!" Like, "Oh God, you scared me." And it's like that moment where it's like, "Oh God!" Like, you're like, "Holy shit!"
It's like a false scare.
Yeah, it's a false scare, but it's not trying too hard. It scares you, and it gives you that false.
It's like the
horror.
It's like if I had to compare it to like a physical movement, It's like when you go fake a punch and you make somebody flinch. It's like, got ya.
Exactly, and and I think it's a good jump scare because, one, it's more realistic.
It plays on your expectations.
Yes, and also, and cheesy as this may sound, you can kind of relate to it in a way where, somebody walks up right behind you and touches you, just to tell you something.
It makes you jump.
And makes you jump because you're into something what you're doing, and it scares you.
Well, that being said, when I saw
if you get what I mean.
When I saw Halloween, the new one, it felt like it was very aware of what it was. When you watch that new Halloween movie, because there's been a few of them already. And
yeah,
like apparently if you watch them, the lore doesn't really make sense. Like I don't know what the writers were thinking, and I think this one is aware of it, of how ridiculous it is.
Some of them were directed by Rockstar.
So when you watch this Halloween movie, it's over the top. It's cheesy as all hell. There are some moments where it looks like it tries to take itself seriously, but it takes itself too seriously to the point where it's funny again.
Yeah.
And it ends up becoming like an action movie at the end. And overall, there was only one jump scare that legitimately startled me in the movie. And after that jump scare, you kind of figure out the pattern. So the rest of the movie, I was like, there's gonna be a jump scare here, and like 9 times out of 10, I was able to call out when there was going to be jump scares, because I think the movie was just I think the people who made the movie were just trying to have fun with it.
Yeah, that's the thing about Halloween, and I think it's become kind of like a tradition. If you ever hear about, oh, there's a new Halloween movie coming out, if you immediately know that, oh, it's a horror film. For those who've never seen any of the Halloween films, don't take it too seriously, because if you're gonna think of it as, oh, it's gonna be like Get Out or
Wait, have you seen it?
I've seen a few. I mean, like, remember when I went to go see my cousin?
Yeah.
I only saw a little bit of it, and I thought, wow, this is really bad.
Yeah, I figured out
And
that,
at first, I thought it was an action film, actually.
yeah, I figured out that, oh, Halloween is just a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with Freddy versus Jason.
I've actually never seen that.
Really?
I think I might have seen a few scenes back when we were little, when like we still watched the Sci-Fi Channel, because it would come out on there, right?
No, it came out a couple times on HBO, and I saw a few, and it's really bad. Now that I think about it, because
I've never seen it.
Because it's like, think of like this, in terms for the horror fans, you have two iconic horror characters. One is basically dead and is very, very, very durable and can withstand anything. Another one is a freaking demon that can kill you through your dreams.
Somebody was trying to debate who would actually win, if like establishing their powers, like their power sets, like who would actually win, Jason or Freddy?
In the film, it kind of explains it, but at the same time,
Wait, who wins?
Spoiler alert, Jason wins.
Really?
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I was like looking back at it, I was like, this film was like really trying to be like that horror film where the victims are in the crossfire. You know what I mean? And it was like the victims were literally trying to aim the
monsters at each other.
Basically the monsters at each other.
Yeah.
And so that they can escape. And when it happens, it became an instant like Batman horror version of Batman v Superman. They're fighting each other. Freddy is like getting stabbed multiple times by barbed wires. Jason has
That's fucking brutal.
It's a brutal fight scene. And it's at this, like, it's metal as hell actually, and there's a lot of metal music going on too. And so finally Jason decapitates Freddy. They fall into the water and die through an engulfing inferno. And then the next morning, after the fire died out, and basically you see nothing but a big fire. Excuse me.
Yeah, fix it. That's fine.
Okay, that's fixed. It's the fire dies out, and it's the next morning, and Jason, like always, because he's coming back. He's walking out of the water, and he's got his machete back. I don't know how he got it back because it flew like 30 feet away from him.
It's like Mjolnir.
Yeah, basically. So he's walking out, and he still has.
Wait, is Jason Thor?
Maybe. And he's walking out of the water like nothing, and he's got Freddie Mercury. I was about to say Freddie Mercury. He has Freddy Krueger's decapitated head, and he has this dead look on his face, like dead.
Doesn't it move?
Yeah, and he looks at the camera and winks like, "Hey, hope you enjoyed."
That's so dumb.
Like, did you like it? Bye bye.
So real quick, like I don't know. Actually, I didn't even set a timer, but like, before we close out, what do you think about the new Godzilla trailer? Did you see it?
Godzilla, King of Monsters.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
It looks okay. Here's my opinion. I appreciate monster films because when you make a good monster film, you have a great opportunity to execute how massive he is and how scary this can be. Like that one Godzilla movie you keep showing me.
Oh, let me look it up real quick.
What's it called again?
I'll look it up real quick. You keep talking.
Yeah, and that one looks horrifying. That Godzilla looks scary. And the Godzilla that we see here in America, I like him. Like, he's scary and giant, and at the same time he's also like, it already establishes that okay, he wouldn't hurt a fly, but he doesn't mean it. Like whenever he destroys cities and he's causing chaos and killing innocents, he doesn't mean it. And I appreciate how the weight and the size of the situation is brought on to the Godzilla film back in when was it 2014, 2015?
The first Godzilla?
Yeah.
I think so. 2014, 2015?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. King of Monsters, I hope they can actually still put weight on it, because sometimes if you make it too big, it'll get boring. Now,
sorry, the movie, the Godzilla you're talking about, and I did see this. I did see a subbed version of this, Godzilla Resurgence. It is ridiculous. Have you seen it?
you showed me some shots, some
So
moments of him, and he looks more horrifying than the one in America.
This Godzilla is terrifying. It's like I was legitimately scared watching it. But this Godzilla it tries to take on a realistic approach of what would actually happen if a real life monster like this came to be. Because like if you watch the original Godzilla, or not the original.
Okay, hold on with that, because I want to finish my opinion before we close.
All right, fine.
So that was my first part. Like making it too big can sometimes be boring. So I really hope that they don't overdo it with the giant stuff, or they can at least get creative, because there's different monsters. Mothra is going to be in it.
Yeah.
Now there's another thing. Not only Mothra, but there's like a freaking 8-headed dragon.
I think is it 8-headed? I thought it was 3-headed.
It looks like a bunch of heads. I could be wrong.
I forgot the name of that monster though.
It's got multiple heads.
Yeah.
And I think there's another monster I don't remember. And then there's Godzilla.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's a lot of monsters going on. And it's making me kind of worry that because I didn't know this in Japan, the way how it is in Japan, there's a lot of lore with each monster.
Mm-hmm.
And considering that there's actually a big following here in America too, and in Japan combined, who are fans of Godzilla and the kaiju universe that is Godzilla, I'm worried that that many monsters can actually be a little too clustered.
I'm excited for it though.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I have not seen it, and that's the thing. Like, that's just like my.
As we're
take it as an opinion piece.
As we're recording this, it hasn't come out.
Yeah, as we're recording, it hasn't come out. I have not seen it. I could definitely be wrong, and if I'm wrong, and I have been, I mean, multiple times, because I mean, come on, we're only human. I mean, go see it when it comes out.
I mean, regardless,
don't let me stop you.
Regardless of whether it's good or bad.
Yeah,
it's that thing that happened with Pacific Rim. For all of its flaws that it might have and all its plot holes,
true.
Freaking seeing giant monsters fight giant robots is fucking exciting, regardless of what the flaws are.
True.
If you're gonna show me a movie of these giant monsters kicking the shit out of each other, and people are gonna die, as fucked up as it sounds, like regardless of whether it's good or bad, I'm gonna go see that movie. It sounds fucking awesome.
True. I mean.
Oh, so real quick, back to Resurgence.
Oh yeah.
If you really want to check out Resurgence, I do recommend it. It's kind of a slow film. It's pretty slow paced. It does drag on a few times. So watch it at your leisure. But it definitely tries to take on a more real, quote unquote, realistic approach of what could actually happen. And that Godzilla in that movie is insane. Like I showed you that video of him with his atomic breath.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it. But yeah, go check it out. It's a really good movie. Well, it's not like
Oscar worthy.
I wouldn't say it's Oscar worthy.
Okay.
But it's a fun film to watch, maybe with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I recommend watching it with a friend because it is pretty slow. But other than that, I'm excited for the new Godzilla movie.
I did notice, and I do appreciate this by what you showed me. If you
don't spoil it.
No. If you really do enjoy Godzilla, even back then, like where there's claymation and then there's also the guys in the suits and they're just on a set, like you can easily tell. It looks like Megazords and Power Rangers.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of like that back then, but I mean, we have CGI now. If you like that Godzilla, the way how he looked way back in the day, I do think you might like this because he does look like that
in Resurgence.
Yeah, he has that classic.
Oh
appearance.
Yeah. He does look.
And he looks ugly as hell.
There's a few,
but it's a badass ugly.
There's a few goofy scenes. Anyway, I think this is a pretty good first episode. I didn't know what we were gonna talk about. I'm glad we figured out what we were gonna talk about.
Honestly, I can go a little bit longer.
If
you down.
We could, but you know, we're still playing with the format. Maybe next time we'll make a longer episode, depending on what the feedback is like.
Sure.
Anyway, thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the first episode of the Coffee Spill podcast. Do you want to plug in anything, Edgar?
Check out our YouTube channels.
Sure, yeah.
You can check out my YouTube channel, Mr. Pepperman. Also check out my Mr. Pepperman Instagram.
Now, is that Mr. Pepperman as in you're already married, or is there a Mrs. Pepperman or Mrs. Pepperwoman? Anyway, that's another story for another time. Why I decided to go for that name. Anyway, and then yeah, you can follow me on. How would you even? If I say Septrium, would you know how to spell that?
Well, I do, but you already told me. I already seen it.
All right, so you can follow me on Septrium at Twitter. Well, I don't really use Twitter. Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. It's spelled SEPTRYEM. And also maybe check out. We're gonna try to set up an Instagram for Coffee Spill for updates on. I guess. Oh, we're also gonna upload this on YouTube. So we'll try to get this up on SoundCloud, YouTube, and hopefully iTunes. I'm gonna figure that out, and we'll see you next time, folks. Bye.
Say bye. This is Coffee Spill podcast. I'm Edgar.